Hey guys, welcome back to Gist with Juice. You get the juiciest gist here. Anyways, the gist I'm bringing today is quite sad. Personally, this gist hurts my feelings, but I have to bring it here so I can get the opinions of my ladies. So let's get into it. So this story is about a lady, let's call her Mrs. Grace. So Mrs. Grace has been married for 2 years, right? Her husband is a gynecologist. So initially, when they were dating, right, they both had an agreement that they were not going to have babies. That was the agreement that they were not going to have babies and they just want to live their life alone. These rich kids. So along the line, something happened. Miss Grace decided that she wanted a child. So she went to her husband and told him that, oh, babe, I think it's time we have a child. You know, she went to her friend's house and she saw how her friend was relating with her children and it kind of tweaked something inside of her and she was like, motherhood isn't bad after all, and she wanted a baby. So Mrs. Grace went back to her husband to ask for a child, to tell her husband she needs a child. And the man was like, cool, let's go for it. They started trying, they kept trying and trying and trying, and it wasn't happening. So the mother in law, which is Mrs. Grace's husband's mother, right? The mother-in-law came and was like, oh, she knows this church is a miracle center where she can take her daughter-in-law to. And they would pray and give her a spiritual bath and she will have. The said day for this prayer came and Mrs. Grace went with her mother-in-law. Although she didn't even have a good relationship with her mother-in-law, but for the sake of them having a child, she had to put up with the woman. So they went for this spiritual bath and prayer. And when they got there, the pastor did his thing, did his prayer, and then handed her over to some women. Now, these women, they call themselves mothers in Jerusalem, right? So these women said they were going to take Mrs. Grace to a river where they would have the baths. So when they got to the river, the mother-in-law was standing somewhere, like she wasn't even supposed to go close to where they were having the bath. The mother-in-law was standing somewhere else, and Mrs. Grace went with these other women. Initially, they already told her she was going to be stark naked, like they were going to take off her clothes for the bath. So when they got to the water, she realized that the leader of the women brought 4 brooms, long brooms, new fresh brooms, and she was wondering, what are people doing with the broom? Am I going to sweep, or what am I going to be doing with the brooms? The man was like, oh, it's part of the spiritual bath and all. Before Miss Grace will even know what was going on, 3 other women came to hold her, like they pinned her down. Then 4 other women used those 4 brooms to flog Shege out of her. Like they flogged her so much, her face, her entire body was bleeding, had marks all over. The mother-in-law couldn't go to help her because, according to her, oh, it's for the good of the family. We are going to be having a baby after this beating. So after Mrs. Grace, oh God, after they finished beating Mrs. Grace, they told her God has answered her prayers and she should expect her babies soon. On their way home, the mother-in-law was apologizing and was telling her that, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know they were going to be flogging you. I thought it was just a spiritual bath and prayers. I'm so sorry. Please, let's not tell my son. But then how can you hide something like that from your husband when you have visible marks all over your body? Now they go home, the husband saw the wife. He was pissed. Like, he was pissed. He sent his mother out of his house. Like, he literally disowned his mother. That's if a child can disown their parent too. He literally disowned the mother. And then he told his wife that, I knew this venture, this going to this church is going to be useless. And she was like, why? You knew it's going to be useless and you let me go. He was like, no, let her listen first. Then he went further to say he can't get a woman pregnant, meaning he's infertile. Now, you've been married to Mrs. Grace for like 2 years. You didn't tell her you are incapable of getting a woman pregnant. You let her go through those torture from your mother and her so-called church. And it is now you are telling her. So you knew all along. Why did you let her go? And now Mrs. Grace is confused because she's heartbroken, she's sad, she's physically and emotionally down. She has gone through so much torture. And now with this new development of her husband telling her that he can't get somebody pregnant, what will she do? What is she going to do? If you are in her shoes, what will you do? Will you remain in the marriage? Will you stay with your husband? Will you find alternatives? What will you do? I would like to hear from my ladies out there to let me know what they will do and how they will handle this situation, because I feel so bad and I feel so hurt for Mrs. Grace going through all that only to find out that the husband is infertile. So let me know in the comment section what you are going to do if you are Mrs. Grace. Thank you guys. Bye.